So we are going to talk about your interview process, where you are going to deal with different tasks. The first one is resume preparation, and the second one is you are going to present yourself during interview, and the third one is explain about the case study or project that you have done. This is another one, and obviously there will be technical questions and some general questions also will be there. So you have to handle all these things from the beginning. The resume preparation, you have to present about yourself during the interview, and you explain about your case study or the project which you have done, and the technical questions, and you might be facing some general questions also. So you have to deal with all of these things. And the first one, the most important one, is resume preparation. So in the resume preparation, you have different things to consider. Okay, what are the different sections that you are going to add? And now for the freshers, the format is different, and for experience, the format may be different. The format of resume may differ from country to country. If you are applying for a job in Australia, and the format that you have to follow is the Australian resume format, and if you're applying in USA, and accordingly you follow the resume format of USA. And in India, you can use any format. There is no specific thing, but most ideally people will be using in the resume preparation, the first they are going to write about their profile summary. First, profile summary. So in the profile summary, you have to clearly mention about what you are. Okay, so what you need to mention: you are a resource having 10 years of experience in IT and 2 years or 3 years of experience on so and so specific technology, and the remaining 7 years I worked on maybe some other different technology, like this. So if you have 10 years of experience, 10 years of experience into IT software, where 2 years I have worked on Pega, and 4 years I have worked on .NET, 4 years I have worked on, remaining 4 I have worked on mainframes, otherwise testing, otherwise something else, whatever that you have worked on. The present experience should be the technology or the tool on which you are applying for the job. Okay, let's say for example you are a fresher. You need to clearly mention that at the resume summary, at the headline itself: fresher, graduate, have the learning exposure to the respective technology or tool, being certified. Whatever the certification that you have to mention. You don't have any certification, don't mention. But in case of Pega, certification is mandatory. Understand? So this is what the summary. When they read about the summary, they should know about what you are. Okay, what is your present experience? What are you present? What were you in the past technically? Okay, you are a fresher. You clearly mentioned the very starting point itself: a fresher graduate having the learning experience of Pega PRPC and done a case study, and also certified CSA, CSSA. That's what you need to mention clearly in detail. It is you have to take the model resumes just as a template, but 99% of the people, they copy everything from the resume. And when we request for fresher resumes, there are few resources who have shared resumes without changing the name and phone number. Means they directly taken others' resume, only file name they have changed and shared it. Straight away you will be rejected when you do things like this. People will not spare you for this much of irresponsibility. That's why you avoid copy paste work. You type manually, think about it. It may take 1 day or 2 days, no problem. Don't simply copy paste. And 90% of the people, they write at the headline, I wanted to take a challenging position in the organization. Really, you wanted to take the challenges? Are you really facing the challenges? Are you ready to face the challenges? Think about it yourself. You know that. I'm not saying it is wrong, but simply don't copy paste. Okay. You don't need to write something like challenging position, attaining higher levels. This and all is not mandatory. 99% of the resumes will have the same sentence, but it is not required. Be simple and be clear of what you are. That is what main thing. Then you will be confident enough. Okay. So simply you write down a resource, being a fresher or experience. I've done a case study or project. Have learning experience or working experience, and so many number of years of experience, relevant and past experiences on other thing. This is what you have to mention. Suppose you are learning Pega PRPC, you worked in the past, but today you are not working. So mainly female resource I am talking about. They get married and for some reasons they stop working. And after 3 years or 4 years, they wanted to resume their like job. This gap, how do you fill? Almost all IT companies, MNC companies have a program of rebegin. Okay, you can apply in the rebegin. No need to fill the gap and all. For in case of women employees. Okay, now you need to clearly mention so that having learning experience on so and so technology plus work experience of 6 years or 2 years or 3 years in the past, have stopped my working in the past and wanted to rebegin. Clearly highlight that rebegin word. Wanted to rebegin. So you need to mention the summary like key points. The sentence what you write is up to you, but it should make the sense like you are rebeginning your career and you have experience on so and so other technology previously, and today you are not working. You don't have a job today. These 3 points should be clearly understandable to the interviewer, whoever is looking at your resume headline. Make sense, everyone? Clear? Fresher means clearly mention the highlighted word fresher. And if you are experienced, at the very beginning clearly mention total number of years experience, relevant experience and past experience. All this you have to clearly mention. Don't mention like 10 plus years experience, 5 plus years. I don't know what is that plus. You have 4 years of 6 months experience. Clearly write down 4 years 6 months. 10 plus means 10 years 1 month, 10 years 11 months, also 10 plus. Don't do that plus and all. Clearly mention 4 years 6 months, 4 years 8 months. You think 2 months of notice period is there? Today you are applying 4 years 4 months, 4 years 6 months you mention, or 4 years 5 months you mention in between. No problem. You can mention like that. You are not going to try for lifelong, right? You will definitely complete the interview in 1 or 2 months. I have that confidence if you are very well prepared. Okay, clearly mention how many years, how many months of relevant. Like this, I have total 4.5 years of experience, out of which the present relevant experience on Pega is, let's say, 2 years, and remaining 2.5 years experience on, let's say, testing, or maybe .NET or Java or anything else that you have worked on. It should make sense. Okay, the sentence formation you ignore, but it should be clearly understandable to the interviewer when they look at the summary. You are a fresher, write down clearly at the very beginning, a fresher, capital letters, this one is capital letters, and bold it. A fresher have learning experience of Pega with CSA certification being done, have done a case study. So like this you need to mention. And the third category, like woman empowerment, okay, have 5 years of experience, for example, experience in IT industry, okay, have stopped working from 2018 onwards. Don't write the reason, that is not required. Have stopped working, what does it mean? You are presently not working, clearly. Okay, now learn Pega and certified CSA. Okay, have done case study and want to re-begin my career in IT job. Something similar to this. It should be clearly making sense what you are when you mention the profile summary at the very beginning. And above the profile summary, what you add? Your name, phone number, email ID. So this is your resume. And here you are going to add probably name, phone number. Template is up to you. What template you use, it should look good. Okay, I'm just telling you high level. I'm sorry. Phone number, email ID. You make sure that you don't have any typing mistakes here. Okay, in hurry, you don't type it wrong. And after this, you are going to write the summary. So summary information, I clearly told you how to clearly mention the profile summary information as per your experience of being a fresher or maybe having a gap, re-begin or whatever it is. And after summary is done, you are going to write down about technical summary. That is about your summary and technical summary. And you are a fresher, what would you write? You write down the technical aspects point by point. Okay, at the very headline itself, have used, worked on below rules, simply. Okay, not in one single sentence. And first of all, you write, okay, it's like don't straightforward get into the rules. Like this, you write down, have experience on below. Okay, something like this. And first point, so requirement analysis. You do what? Requirement. You will be getting requirements. You have to analyze the requirement in order to understand the requirement. You do have that exposure of requirement analysis, and you worked on rules. See, so far we discussed and we learned so many rules in Pega. So the first two points should be related to your current technology on which you are applying. You worked on previous another technology. Many people are writing at the very beginning the other technology and below they are writing Pega. That is wrong. It should be reverse. The current technology should come on to top, and at the very bottom, very less number of points you have to add related to your previous technology. So in the summary, you have to write down worked on activities, flows, decision table, decision tree, declarative rules. So declare expression, declare constant, declare on change, declare trigger, declare index, and sections, flow action, harness, activities, data transforms, data pages. You mention the rules which you are comfortable with. Do not even mention one rule which you are not aware of. Clear, everyone? So here there are two parts. The first part is the current technology on which you are working. In this, just specify the known technical aspects. Do not even mention one single word or one single technical topic which you never know about. Even you know about only 10%, 20% also you don't mention. Simply to tell you, whatever the technical subject that you are going to specify here, you should be good at that 100%. Only that. You mention only 5 to 10. Fair enough, no problem. Out of 100, you mention only 10. No, you should, but you should be perfect at those 10. That is what important. Simply to tell you, whatever you mention in your resume, everything you should know about. Even one single word which you are not aware of, it should not be there in your resume. Make sense? Why I am telling you this particularly is people are just copy pasting simply without even looking into it. So when you copy paste, you find something called agile practice, something like this. But without knowing, why are you mentioning this agile practice? As a developer with 2 years experience, you don't know what is agile practice. Why do you mention agile practice? Because you copy pasted your resume. You don't know about this term, leave it first of all, no problem. No problem even if you don't mention it. You want to understand what is agile methodology and all, go to any YouTube channel, you will be able to understand. One more thing is the project explanation video which I have told you. In that I told you about how does waterfall and agile works, high level for a developer. That is very much enough. Understand? That is the advantage of watching that video. And now, and part 2 and 3, you can mention previous year experience, previous knowledge, previous technical knowledge. This is how the order should be. So you have mentioned your profile summary, your technical summary is also you have mentioned. And the next one, you add certifications. You add certification. What are the certifications you have done? Here again, you might be worked on testing and you have done testing certification. Now you have done Pega certification. Order should be latest to before. First you mention current technology certifications, and then you mention previous technology certification if you have. Everyone in case of Pega must be certified. Otherwise, you don't have any opportunity to get into Pega jobs. So even fresher or experienced or anyone, definitely mandatory you're mentioning CSA certification. And you have CWSA, mention the CWSA certification as well. Everyone clear? And one more thing, let me tell you, at the top of your resume, here after your name and all, maybe if your name you are mentioning right left side, on the right side here you add Pega logo, CSA logo, CWSA logo as well if you are CWSA certified. If you are only CSA certified, add CSA logo. If you are CSA plus CWSA certified, add both logos. How do you take the logos? In our website Harsha Trainings, you go to model resume templates and explaining about resume preparation. There is one document. Download all and open and see. You have logos already present in Word document. You just need to copy paste. Otherwise, Google it for the latest Pega. What is that? Certification logos. Latest logos. Please don't add old logos and all. These are the latest logo. Old logo looks different. This is the old one. Circle one is old one. This is the latest. Get the latest logo, whichever attracts better. Understand everyone clear? So at the profile heading, you should have your, I mean like at the the very beginning of the profile, you should have your name, phone number, email ID clearly, and you should have Pega logos been added and your profile summary and technical summary. Remember, keep in mind one point, it is always current to past. That you should follow everywhere, even in the certificate. You mentioned certifications and all. Next you add education details. Again here, this is optional. Experienced resources, whoever is preparing their resume as experience, never mention your education details. You might be from MBA, you might be from MCA, M-Pharmacy, B-Pharmacy. Don't give them a chance to cross question you. How did you come into IIT from so and so different? Never give that chance. Any experienced resume, for my experience, I am saying that never mention anything about your education details. That is not at all required. If your country demands resume format, that is up to you. But in India, don't go for it. Fresher, you must mention education details. Okay, in a table format or maybe like a sentence, whichever is looks good. Okay, so after education details you have mentioned, then you mention technical tools or languages that you are aware of. This is must. Education details is optional and not at all required for someone who is applying for experience. And education details are mandatory for fresher. Now, what about technical tools? Tools wise, Pega rules process commander tool. And languages wise, C language, core Java or Python or data, whatever you know, you have to mention that you are aware of. Don't copy paste to mention everything. You don't know, don't mention at all, no problem. Only you are mentioning Pega rules process command, fair enough. Let me tell you one more point. Experienced resources, you don't add like operating systems, Windows, Linux and all. You don't add like MS Office, all this. This looks so silly. Okay, these things you already should know. Minimum basic things. Don't write all this. Only technology and tool you mention. Don't mention like Windows 11, Windows 7 and Linux operating system. Don't mention this. For a fresher, you mention no problem. Okay, as a fresher. And now this is not at all required for experienced resources, and this is mandatory and must for freshers. Next one is hobbies. What are your hobbies? There's a lot to talk about this, but I don't want to talk about this now. But this is very much required in a fresher resume in India. What are your hobbies? You must have to mention that. Done, completed. This is not at all required for experience. That is up to you. Again, optional. And next one is projects are case study worked on. Working or worked on. Now here also the order should be same. Order should be current project that you are working on plus past projects, past technologies. Means present year project to last 10-year project should be at the bottom. How many projects you have to mention? You worked on Pega for 3 years. It is not mandatory you have to mention 2 projects or 5 projects or 6 projects. 10 years experience also you mention 1 project. Possibility is there to work. Possibility is there. Okay, but just let me tell you the ideal way. 2 years below 1 project is okay, no problem. Okay, 2 years above mention 2 projects. 4 years or 3 years also 2 projects on current technology. Previous what you mention is up to you. Okay, so that is how you need to mention project or case study. You have to write functional points, functional aspects. Everyone clear? And now if you are a fresher, you are going to write the case study and projects. That is what case study or project, and project 1, project 2, project 3. Project 1 means latest project, not the one project first project you have worked on. Understand? Project 1 is latest project. Project 2 is previous to the latest. Project 3 is previous to previous. Okay, understand? Like this you have to a number of projects you have no issues. And the next one is case study 1, case study 2, like that. Okay, now most importantly, roles and responsibilities. What would you be writing about roles and responsibilities? 99% of the people, they mention like worked on activities, worked on data transforms, worked on flows, worked on case management. This is not at all roles and responsibilities. Okay, so worked on strings, Hibernate, and worked on like inheritance concept, worked on method overloading, method overriding, Java regime. This is not roles and responsibilities for your information. Already you mentioned everything in the technical summary. Roles and responsibilities, if you go to model resumes also, it was wrong because everyone is preparing same. What should I do? You are copy pasting and you are giving me resume. Even after I am going to tell you how to mention roles and responsibilities, again people are copy pasting it from other resumes. See, roles and responsibilities means which role you have played in your project, what are the responsibilities on your shoulder in your project. It is not that you worked on activities, decision rules, data, declarative rules and all. See, look at here, being a developer. You are a fresher. What is your role? Suppose you are a fresher. You don't have any role, right? But in case study, while doing, you have played a role. Obviously, you should have received requirements for case study. You would have analyzed the requirements. Okay. So, analyzing requirements is one role. Okay. That you are going to do, and your team lead also will be doing it and explaining you. Even a fresher also, you have to do this. And then design and development. You are a developer, you are going to do work on development task. Design is optional. You're designing UI. Here in Pega, there's no much design, just simply creating simple screens. Design and development, analysis of the business requirements, and design and development. What are the other roles that you have? What are the other roles other than this? What are the other roles? Unit testing clearly mention functional of the requirements which we develop. We don't think about complete testing. We don't bother about types of testing. Unit testing, which is very much clearly functional of what is the development I have done. That's it. Other than this, you may play a role of peer review. You are going to do peer review, means your colleague is going to develop something, then you have to review it and you have to provide your approval for the reviewed one. In the review, you just check the functional aspects, technical aspects, and even whether it is producing the desired output, unit testing functionally. That is also required to be made. This is not required for fresher. You do not review anything. You will get reviewed by your master. Okay, this is not required for fresher. This is not for fresher. Okay, apart from this, what are the other roles that you are playing? Online resources and offline resources, those who are working in IT on any project, any technology. You may not be doing this. You are going to write down the test cases of your development, which are functional approach. Testers will have their own test cases. What you submit, they will take it as a input. They will have more test cases than you. You will never write down test cases for freshers. Then what do? They have to write their own. They will have complete knowledge about application. You may not have. Okay, and don't write something which is difficult for you. Next, what else you will be doing? Yes,
involved in team meeting.
Involved in internal team meetings. Clearly mentioned internal team meetings and preparing MOM, minutes of meeting. This you might be doing this. There is a chance that you might be doing preparation of MOM. This is also not for freshers. And next, involved in daily stand-up calls. You will be involved in the, that is what, onshore offshore calls. With BA, daily stand-up calls, you will be involved. What is being done today? What is pending? What is yet to be done? Any dependencies? Anything you don't understand? Any help you need from the business? All this to be discussed here in this one. Everyone clear? Online resources. Everyone of you clear about this? Involved in daily stand-up calls. Next, what else you will be doing? Other than this, what are the other roles that you play? If you are a team lead, you might have to add one more point, leading the team technically and process-wise. Code deployment. So you will never do code deployment in production. So supporting the release management teams during code deployment days. During the deployment days, during the release time, to support this. Before this, in the deployment part, like preparing implementation plan for deployment. This and all, this is not for freshers. These points are from fourth point onwards. These are not for freshers. All this. Okay, you are going to support the release management. You will prepare the implementation plan for the deployment. All these are internal roles and responsibilities that you will be playing. And apart from this, working on defect fixing of my defects assigned to me. The defects that you are getting out of the development, what you have done, there might be some defects. Those defects you should be fixing by yourself. So you are going to do this. Suppose you are a team lead. You might be working on defect fixing as well as managing the team to make sure that they have done their defects being fixed. That is additional point you have to add if you are a team lead. Okay, so these are the points mainly that involves roles and responsibilities of your day-to-day activities. That is the meaning of roles and responsibilities. Working on activities, all this is part of development only. You don't mention all that. Okay, I'm going to hold on. What is your batch number? 588. These are very common when you are working on any project. Okay, while you are working with any project, these are very common. So these are freshers. You don't need to mention all this stuff up to 1, 2, 3. You mentioned that is pretty much fair enough. Okay, so played it role in as a team player. That's what additional point. Being a team player. Case study, we did it as a team. So you're going to mention that, or you're going to showcase that you are a team player, apart from being individual. Everyone clear? Makes sense? So these are the roles and responsibilities. The roles and responsibilities for every project can be same. There's no problem. It can be you're a developer, you worked on .NET, same roles and responsibilities. You're a developer, you worked on Pega, same roles and responsibilities. You're a developer worked on mainframes, same roles and responsibilities. Roles and responsibility for all projects can be same, no problem. There's no issue. Okay, makes sense? And based on your level, again, initially you are a developer, today you are a lead. So here some points will be additionally available in the current project, but previous it won't be there at the very beginning of your career. So roles and responsibilities, after you mention the project and roles, and with this your resume gets completed. And freshers and experience, you add a declaration at the end of your resume just to make sure that it is complete. And here it is optional for Indian resources. Whether you are a fresher or experienced, I request you to add, I recommend you to add. That's up to you again. Fresher you must add, and experienced resources, that is my recommendation, you add. That will be good. It shows that it has been ending properly. And for other countries, I don't know, maybe it is optional. Okay. And before this, one more point, like personal details. Freshers, you add your personal details. Anyhow, at the top of the resume, you mentioned your name, email address, phone number. Don't mention again here. That is not required. You may write down your address, your parent name, and the languages you are aware of. What are the languages that you are aware of, that you can speak, read, and write? Okay, that is very, very important when you are applying for job in India. Please understand that. Okay, the known languages are very, very important. You know about French language also, you apply that. You mention the same. Okay, so these have to be written in the personal details part before declaration, but this is not at all required for experienced resources usually. But again, that is up to you. So these are the different sections of your resume, starting from the headline and your details and Pega logo and overall summary of your profile and technical summary and certifications, education details, hobbies, roles and responsibilities, personal details, and declaration, finally optional one. Okay, freshers it is mandatory, whoever is sending me. And here what is the template that you use also most important. See, for every one of you, you go to your Word document and take a blank document, more templates. Here you see more templates. Click on this and you type, otherwise here itself you have resumes and cover letters. Use one of these templates. Freshers, you should be using one of these templates. Remember one thing, all of you freshers, you must have your photo also added. For experienced, that is not required. That is not required. I'm not saying that you must be using the templates of what is being shown here. You can use any template, but it should look professional. Remember that. And don't use the templates like this. This template doesn't look good. Don't use something like this, dazzling and all. Don't use. And the template like this one, and this one, this looks good. And scroll down. See whether it is a template or cover letter. We need only resume templates, not this is you take this is not required. This should not be used, and this one can be used, this one can be used. And as per the template, your details position may change here and there, but overall it will be good. Okay, try to take your time to prepare your resume. Do not copy paste the things. This is also okay, this resume is also okay, but this is not okay. This one you don't use it. Okay, this is also okay, this is also okay. Okay, accordingly you choose one of the template and prepare your resume, freshers. And experienced resources, this template or any other template. And if you are just preparing your resume, you make sure that you have to follow some of the things like all the sentences should be of same font. Everything in resume should be same font. For headlines, if you are using 14, and for the data body, if you are using 12 or 10, whatever it is, Times New Roman, every section should have the same. It should look unique. Okay, everyone, resume should be uniform. One letter you are going, one headline you are going to mention like 15 size, and another headline you are going to mention 13 size. One headline has underscore, another headline doesn't have underscore. This and all says that you don't even know how to be professional while designing the documents, preparing the documents. Okay, you do the same when you are being put into a project, and if you have to prepare some documents, you have to prepare a lot of documents. That is also will be reflected here. Okay, and these are the points which one should be remembering. Okay, you take maybe 2 to 3 hours to prepare your resume, but one final thing that I wanted to tell you, everything that is there mentioned in your resume you should know about. Simply saying the other way around, everything that you are aware of, please mention in your resume. Do not mention even one single word which you never heard, which you are not aware of. Okay, everyone clear? And now your presentation. Regarding hobbies, whatever hobbies you have, you mentioned you don't have any hobbies, don't include that section at all. Okay, and freshers, you mention what are your strengths. That is also required actually. Hobbies, apart from that, strengths. Weakness you don't need to mention. If you have any weakness, you should hide it actually. That's the point. So suppose if they ask you for freshers, what is your weakness? It is not mandatory that you have to say your weakness. See, how you manage to tackle the situation is most important. See, if I ask you what is your weakness, just I'm asking you guys, any one of you respond, what do you answer for this? Whoever is experienced or fresher, whatever it is, suppose you are attending an interview, if they ask you what is your weakness, what do you say? You tell about your weakness and you say how you overcome your weakness. What else you say? See, these questions may look simple, but these are high priority for a business than your technology and all. Technical, anyone can teach you. Behavioral, that is not so simple. No one can teach you your attitude. Attitude builds. No one can teach you. That is not possible so easily. So what is your weakness? If they ask you, remember, as everyone has, or most of the people has so many weaknesses, I do have the weakness, but usually I never expose my weakness at others. I have my own ways of overcoming it. Expressing my weakness, people may catch me in difficult situations, okay, and they may play with me. So I never going to talk about my weakness in public. I don't want to reveal at all. Even you should not even reveal that, and you should not even say how you overcome. I have, as everyone else has. I don't want to reveal. See, you reveal your weakness and you say how you overcome, people definitely play with your weakness. There is a chance. So you reveal the same to your client. Your client is going to ask you, what is your weakness? You say some weakness, client is going to give you a biscuit. That is your weakness point. And he's going to play with you. You are such a kind of person, you express your weakness to others. And you are giving a chance to others that they will play with you. You are such a strong-minded person, you never expose yourself to showcase what is your weakness. But you know how to deal with it. So this is how you have to manage the things to answer. This is the way to behave in the interview. If you are behaving like this, see, being a strong person, you can tackle any situation. So strong in the sense, strong mentally, not only physical. Being physical also, of course, it is important. And mentally you are strong, okay, then no one can play with you. This is the kind of people that industry needs. Any industry, not only software, anywhere. You are applying for IAS, you have to be strong mentally. If you're a weak person, you have a weakness, then people will play with you, definitely. You should never expose. You should know what to speak, what not to speak at the situation. That is what most important. So this is how you have to tackle the interview. Understand, everyone? Clear? Online resources. And this is especially for freshers. Okay, and even experienced also. I think you know more than me. That's okay. And you have your own ways of answering everything. But whatever I know to my level best, just I'm trying to give you the information. That's it. And now you have to present yourself. What do you present yourself? That's what you have to orally say, right? So a very common question in an interview: say about your profile, or tell about yourself, or about your family background, or about something about you. Everything you have already written in your resume. Already you have written what are you technically, what are you, even if you mention personal details, what are you personally and all. But still you have to speak out. Okay, you may say your name or may not say your name. There is nothing wrong. Many people say already you have mentioned your name in your resume. Why you say again? You have mentioned everything else also in your resume. Why you are saying again? If they specifically ask to say something which is not there in the resume, then you have to think about it. When you are introducing someone, it is very common nature that you tell your name. Many people, they ping me on WhatsApp. Hi, what are the courses that you have? Okay, we will respond. That is okay. But it is very minimum common thing that say your name and then talk about something. Okay, that's what you are respecting yourself. You're respecting others even. Okay. So there is nothing wrong. You say your name again, no problem. Don't say your phone number, address and all. Okay. Say your name. Myself, Harsha, and I have so many years of many years of experience, or I am a fresher on so and so technology, and I have worked on these technologies, so and so technologies. And regarding your roles and responsibilities, the good that you have done in your project, if you are experienced resource, you have to talk about. See why they wanted to know about you. They wanted to hire you for giving you a job to work for their organization. What you have done in your past organization, which is best, which has added a value to your organization, that is what you have to say more about. That is what they wanted to hear from you. Okay, fresher, you did not add any value because you have not been given with an opportunity. Fresher, you have to say about your name, your hobbies, your technical knowledge that you have, and your strengths. That's it, no weakness, nothing. And you have to say about your ways of learning. I am a quick learner. Maybe if you are a quick learner, you have to say quick learner. If you are not, you know that. You can say I am a slow learner, but definitely I'll not be missing the deadlines for sure. Though I am a slow learner, I extend my time of hours to achieve it in the given deadline times. That's how you need to manage. There is nothing wrong saying like a slow learner, but you need not to say that. If you are not a quick learner, do not use anything about quick or slow. Leave it completely. You are really a quick learner, you mention I'm a quick learner. Okay, and you are a fresher, that you talk about what is your learning ability. Okay, how interested you are to learn something new every time. Even your experience also, you can say this, how much interest you have towards learning the new things. Okay, this is what you have to talk about. What is the value that you are going to add to your company when you are being hired? That is what showcasing your capabilities. This is the way to present oneself. Okay, see, saying all these things, it will not take much time. While we are discussing here, it may sound like it will take around 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It will not take more than 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, see, this is where you build a rapport with the interviewer. Interviewer will come to know about you and understands you better, and he feels happy to know about you, and he feels like, what if I select this guy, how is it going to be? All that feelings that he is going to get, he or she, whoever it is. Make sense? Clear, everyone? So these are the points you need to write down before you say about yourself, but do not get prepared with the sentences and all directly. Don't by heart anything from others. Know about yourself, say about yourself, what is your name, what are your hobbies, what are your strengths, what was the value you have added in the previous projects and previous clients whom you have worked with, and what is the value that you are going to add to the present company, I mean like future company if you are being hired, and your learning ability. Say all this in simple sentences just for 2 to 3 minutes. Fair enough. Okay, so during the presentation itself, interviewer should feel interested to talk to you. Okay, and after this, finally, if you are a fresher, talk about your case study. Now I am going to say about my case study after you explain about everything yourself, and now I am going to talk about my current project. Okay, and you need to now say about the project what you have worked on. So now here is the big challenge. How do you explain your project? Suppose the same case study what we have done here. Okay, health insurance project. You have to say about health insurance project. So now what is the time duration that you have to spend while delivering this? How long you should be taking to say this? You should be responding. I'm asking a question. How long you should be taking? Within less than 2 minutes. Okay, how long you would be taking? Okay, how do you explain? So the same case study what we have done here, you are already done with this, right? So if this is health insurance project, you have to say, how do you say that? Where do you start, where do you end? Tell me in 2 minutes. Make it fast. Anyone online, you just explain about your project. Unmute and explain about your project. Explain about your project. What do you say? What do you explain? Take this as a practice. See, your project explanation, 99% of the people will start the project explanation like, my project is a health insurance project and we have a screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and finally, like at the 2nd minute ending or 3rd minute ending, interviewer should wait, what is it all about? At the 3rd minute ending only he will come to know, okay, this is his project. The explanation should not be like this. See, while you are working on project, if you remember college level, you must have submitted an abstract, right? What is an abstract for your project? It is a short form of overall summary, and next you have submitted your project in detail. Same way you have to explain. Simply within first 15 seconds itself, interviewer should have a clear idea about what is your project goal. My project is a health insurance project. This project deals with providing health insurance policies to the customers, collecting the required data, and the final output will be a policy will be generated collecting a premium amount. That's it. You have explained everything about your project. Now it is very much clear. I understand overall what is your project. Now further I am interested to listen to your screen 1, screen 2 or screen 3, whatever you say, stages and all. Okay, this is the way. Within 10 to 15 seconds, interviewer should be given a snapshot of your project. Clearly, highlight level. That's it. Everyone clear? So this is how 2 to 3 sentences you should talk about overall what is your project all about. Now you restart. Now after that, you start saying about your project. So in my project, we have different stages. We collect the information from the customer. We collect the documents from the customer. Information will be reviewed and it will be sent for the quality review and it will be sent for the approvals. After approvals, it will be forwarded to claim, whatever it is, like finance teams or whatever, whoever is there. Finally, upon the customer approval, the policy will get generated with a premium and work object ID is the policy ID for them. Okay, and again, this is not the same way. You can little bit explain about what you are collecting at each stage. Okay, but make sure your project explanation should not be exceeding more than 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes, not more than that. Because people, they are not ready to listen to 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Even it will be highly difficult to say 5 minutes or 10 minutes. 2 minutes to 3 minutes between is fair enough to explain overall functional point of view. Do not say that we used activities at this screen, we used report definition. This should not come in between while you are explaining the project or case study. If interviewer is going to ask you specifically, where did you use services in your project? The current project you have done, you said, right? So in our case study, where did you use decision table? We have used decision table to identify the type of insurance. Accordingly, we are just routing the assignments to different people. Different assignments we are creating based on a condition. For that condition to define, I have used decision table in my project. Like this, you should be ready for each role where you have used in your project. You should be ready, prepared with that. If interviewer is going to ask you, say, otherwise you don't say simply. Interviewer specifically, where did you use connect soap for what purpose in your project? Then you should be able to say that. Otherwise, even if you say you have worked on connect soap in your project, where did you use? If you are not saying, means you did not work on it, you are lying. Understand clearly? So in the case study or in the project, the technical aspects you have mentioned, you clearly write down in a notebook at the time of preparation for which purpose you have used each technical rule, technical aspect. And you should be able to answer the same when being cross-questioned. Understand? Make sense? Clear? So this is how you need to talk about the project, explain about the project, and when interviewer is going to question you, you should be ready to answer where did you use the technical aspects in your project. Make sense? Everyone clear? And your general questions I will answer you tomorrow. Someone was asking, I'm a non-IT student, what should I say if they ask you why did you come to IT from non-IT? I'll tell you later. And after your project explanation is completed, interviewer going to start technical interview. Okay, now how to handle the technical interview, I will tell you tomorrow. Technical means 99.99% the current technology that you are working on. For freshers, what is it going to be? How is it going to be? For experienced, how it is going to be? I will tell you starting tomorrow. Make sense? Everyone clear so far? So today I told you clearly about the resume preparation and the points how to mention. Spend your time and write down the points in your own way, in your own approach. Roles and responsibilities I have shared on the email. The different sections you mentioned should have, any other model resume you take from someone, that is to understand what section to mention, but not to copy paste the data. That is not at all good. And your resume should be clear and plain, and it should be uniform with respect to the font that you use, its style, font size, everything, colors and everything. Okay, it should look good, the template. Freshers, everyone, and fresher or experienced, make sure you have logos mentioned on top. For freshers, additionally, your photo should be there, passport size photo added there. When you're sending fresher resume, you should follow all of this. Anyone. And now, yesterday we discussed with one of the one of the wing. This guy is a director in Infosys. We discussed with him, and he asked us to share the profiles of all sort of resources, fresher, experienced, even rebegin, everything. Is much interested to hire the people because of vacancy positions. And we did not take interviews so far for anyone else other than in the fresher part. Those who have already given interviews, we shortlisted, right? Shortlisting is there. You don't need to attend again this time because already you shortlisted. We have yesterday shared resumes to Infosys. We are sharing it in different tranches, and we have so many criteria to share. Okay, to follow. If your resume not shared in this tranche, next tranche it will go. Okay, just wait on it. Don't be so hurry, but be ready. Based on how many points you are getting while you are giving the screening round, based on that factor, and based on your education background, how many years of gap, which year pass out you are, all this we are just considering and sorting accordingly, and then sharing the profiles. Okay, they have asked about your date of birth, means to know about your age and all. And one more additional information. What did they ask? If you are there in the screening group, you might know about it. And this is where they are expecting around 300 to 400 members to be hired. That's what he told for next 1 year for Infosys on Pega. And they wanted to hire from our training center. But I told you, right, during technical interview, don't mention that you learn here at Harsha. Always say that you learn from Pega systems or you learn from PDL. Don't tell any institute name. But we will be letting them know in the email, adding one column from Harsha Trainings. But technical interview, don't say this. That is not required. HR, okay, no problem. Okay, makes sense. And this is what you should be doing. Okay, and be ready to give your interview. If you're able to crack interview, I already told I'll be taking the interview for experience as well as even freshers. Those who got rejected previously in the fresher screening round, not selected, if you think like you are ready and well prepared, then only you fill the form. I will take up the interview. Everyone else, accordingly, you fill the information in the form. Okay, and we start taking your interview starting from tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and we'll process your profiles, experience, fresher, cross-trained also, cross-trained and re-begin, and everything we will process.